Hello everyone, Justin from Subversus Fitness again. We're talking your at-home fitness for Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. We're starting with a seated shoulder extension, 1 full minute. We'll see what that looks like, really opening that shoulder up, and then going into 10 L-sit bottle presses with a 5-second negative, 10 scap push-ups, 10 dead bugs, and 20 mountain climbers. I didn't write it, but we're doing this at least twice, ideally 3 rounds through. All right, let's look at what these movements are. All right, let's look at this movement prep for Tuesday. We're starting with seated shoulder extensions. Somewhat predictably, it begins seated. So on the ground, you're going to reach behind you. A couple things that are important here. I want your hands to start shoulder width apart. So shoulder width, not out here, not touching each other, but shoulder width. That's a little bit tough for a lot of people. From here, you're going to start walking your hands out, and we're just looking for you to feel a stretch. Wherever that is, I'm okay at shoulder extension, so I typically get down here somewhere, and I'll hang out here and stretch. We're going to hang out for a minute, so this shouldn't be murder. You shouldn't be gritting your teeth through all this. Ideally, you should be able to hold a conversation, perhaps record a video while you're in this extension position. If it's terrible, if your elbows start to hurt, relax. Come on back up. Here again, don't start wandering out to the side. This doesn't really do much. Getting super low here doesn't really get you anywhere. You're not winning anything. So big shoulder extension. We're going to hold that position for 1 minute. All right, let's talk L-seated bottle presses with a 5-second negative. What's an L-seated bottle press? I think I may have given it away already. I grabbed a couple of different things I could use as bottles. This is just 1 liter filled up with tap water. It's a water bottle I use all the time. This fits one of those SodaStream seltzer things. We're not paid. Your other seltzer brands are available. What we're looking for is you nice and tall, really engaged. Press overhead, bicep right next to your ear, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, explode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot of time under tension. If you do the math, we're doing 5 per side. This should take at least 25 seconds per arm. If this is super easy, maybe go a little heavier. This is 2 pounds, I think, right? 2 pounds of whey protein, no big deal. Still pressing overhead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get a lot done with 2 pounds. If this still isn't enough, totally not topical. We just happen to have a bunch of bottles of bleach sitting around. You could use this kettlebell style. It's a little small for my hand, but pressing overhead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right back up, all the way down. Whatever you use, make sure that top is on really secure. It's a bummer to do this and have it come off and get covered in water at best, but getting covered in chocolate whey or bleach is also a bummer. Control that 5-second negative, engaged core, 5 on each side. Again, we're doing this 2 or 3 times through, so choose your weight wisely. Next part of our movement prep for Tuesday is scap push-ups. Sorry, the clock went off. Scap push-ups for Tuesday. We're gonna get 10. I think of this as pushing as far away I can and then getting as close to the ground as I can without bending your elbow. So it's really push and retract in your shoulder blades. From the front, nice and tall, super strong. How close can you get to the ground without bending your elbows? And then how far can you get from the ground without bending your elbows? This curve in my upper back is absolutely deliberate. It's what we want. So really far away from the ground in upside down hollow position, squeezing those shoulder blades together, nice and tight, a little harder to breathe, a little harder to talk into your mic, and then further away. Slow and controlled. How much range of motion can you get through here? We want 10. Next part of Tuesday's movement prep. Oh, my mic is doing all kinds of weird things. Next part of Tuesday's movement prep, sorry if I slapped it there, dead bugs. So on your back, before you do this, make sure you move your mic into your pocket, because sitting on it is really uncomfortable. We've already discovered. Set up for a dead bug. Really important. We want no space at all between your lower back. If you're soft, even if you can reach your fingers underneath, it's not there yet. Tilt those hips up, engage that core, actively pressing down into the ground, knees bent at 90 degrees, right up, without losing that connection to the ground. Opposite limbs are gonna move slowly, only out as far as you feel your back start to come off the ground, back to neutral. That's the end of your dead bug. If you can get fully extended with that lower back still super engaged, great. Back up, but don't just come out here soft and loose. We're not getting anything done. Engage really hard, back up. We're staying under tension, moving opposite limbs. Sometimes this is a little bit of a coordination test. Slow, 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 5 on each side. Last part of the movement prep, mountain climbers. We're getting 20. So you'll set up at the top of a push-up, top of a plank, probably feet slightly apart. I like to start elbow to knee, knee to elbow. This is where you're going as quickly as you can. Change position. If you can do the whole thing fast, 20 all the way through. We want that full range of motion. Don't win doing this. We want that knee flexion too. Up, up. If you have to slow it down to get that full knee flexion, totally cool. If you need to take individual steps, totally cool. Make it look good, not just fast. That's the last part of our movement prep. 2, ideally 3 times through this circuit. Okay, looking at the Metcon for Tuesday, 3 rounds for time, 20 per side bottle strict press, 12 burpees, 20 per side alternating bottle snatch, and this is a bottle power snatch. It's not written that way, but it is, and we'll talk about it in a moment. 12 more burpees, 3 times through the whole thing with a time cap of 14 minutes. All right, let's see what that looks like. All right, movement demos for the Metcon. 20 per side strict bottle press. We're gonna use the same bottles as before. Pull these in here. We've got our 1 liter, our 2 pound, and our, what is this even? Is it a gallon? 3 3/4 quarts. It's not even a gallon. Come on. Anyway, 20 per side strict press. So 1 arm, you're gonna get really tight, starts at your shoulder, overhead, and back down. 20 per side, that number is really high on purpose because I'm assuming you're not swinging a 60-pound bottle. So up and down, 20 on each side. You can break this up however you want, but it won't take much weight to make it feel like something. You want to go a little heavier, that 2 pounds, a little bit of balance, still really engaged. We're not using your hips or legs here. Potentially even heavier, a la kettlebell, up and down, 20 on each side for your strict bottle press. An old favorite, but it only seems fair to demonstrate it. Burpees come up twice in this Metcon, and there's 12 each time. It's do a bunch of pressing, do 12 burpees, do a bunch of snatching, do 12 burpees. As ever, the typical standard is chest to the ground, hop up, make sure you get some air at the top. Depending on your situation, if you have a hardwood floor, a concrete floor, if you're doing this in your backyard, if you have a backyard, lucky you, and it's brick or something like that, consider not going all the way to the ground. Potentially turn these into squat thrusts, top of a push-up, right back up again. Is it a full burpee? No. Are you going to avoid scraping your knees up? Yes. Is that probably better? I think so. All right, I ran out of battery talking about burpees, so I'm gonna catch up where I was. Where was I? Oh, squat thrusts. So subbing in squat thrusts, totally cool. If you want to do squat thrusts, because like we talked about, you're on a hardwood floor, brick, concrete, a bed of nails, whatever you're working out on, and you want to turn that number up a little bit, you could. I think 12 of anything as a space holder here is going to be plenty. I suggest not turning it into 20 burpees. 12 here, we'll do the snatches, another 12, it ends up being plenty. What is that? 3 by 24, 72. It's 72 burpees is a lot, 72 squat thrusts is gonna be plenty. Don't go crazy. The last movement in the Metcon, the last movement we're going to talk about, because burpees are the last movement, but they show up twice. Last thing we're going to demo is the bottle snatch, the alternating bottle snatch. We have our same 3 bottles here. So our 1 liter, nice and tight. If I was using this is really small. I'm just going to do a hang power snatch. So nice and tall. I'll get that bottle below my knee, drive with my hips, keep it really close. This is slow motion. Extend. Pull up overhead, lock it out, stand up hard, switch hands on the way down. So in real time, it would be up, up. Again, we're doing 20 per side. It doesn't have to be heavy to be effective. If you want more, totally cool. This could turn into a bit of a grip challenge. So hang out here. This isn't easy. I'm having a hard time. Down, whoop, up, overhead again. Truthfully, if I was committed to using this, I would probably change and go here because I can already feel it slipping out of my hands. So down, up, overhead, switch hands, down, up, overhead. It's a lot of fumbling around, so if it's not comfortable, consider going with something lighter that you can really grab onto. This is a place where something with a handle is potentially useful because you can go heavier. Again, just below your knee. Don't feel like you have to touch the ground every time. If the bottle makes it feasible, that's fine. We're all working with different sizes of equipment here. Give yourself a little grace. Down, overhead, up, turn it over, back down, up, overhead, turn it over. From the side, you can see we're still keeping that bottle really close. And on the way down, I'm not losing my lower back. I am not doing a beautiful snatch and then resetting down here. Up, nice and tall, up, reset, switch sides, up, reset, switch sides. 20 on each side alternating, that's 40 altogether. 3 rounds, time cap is 14 minutes. Have fun.